Guys, ammunition for this video has been provided by Browne Works, Inc., manufacturer of fine custom handgun grips. If you guys are looking for very unique, very customized handgun grips for your favorite handgun, contact Mark at Browne Works, Inc., link in the description below, and create something beautiful for your favorite handgun. And don't forget to tell them Wyoming Gun Project sent you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at a super cool Davidson's exclusive Beretta 92 or 90 series gun, I should say. That's, you know, more competition oriented. So we'll do the tabletop here, do a bit of a deep dive, and then get it on out to the range and see how it shoots. So what is this? This is the Beretta 92 XI SAO GARA. It's kind of a mouthful, but 92 XI. I didn't even think about this. I was watching another channel and they pointed out, I'm like, oh yeah, that is true. In Roman numerals, XI is 11. So it's a 9211. I think it's a spin on the 2011s and the 2311s and stuff like that, because this is, again, geared towards competition. So it's a 9211 chambered in 9mm, and it's spiced up a bit with a bunch of different parts and stuff like that. So as you can see, it's pretty much a standard 92 series operating system. You have the locking block, you know, the open barrel, very reminiscent of the military's M9. We're all pretty much familiar with that if you know anything about firearms. But this one's got a bunch of cool stuff. So let's start at the front. This is a single port Tony Systems comp on the end there. Okay. Fiber optic, red front sight, very cool. Blacked out rear, which is serrated. There would be your sighting system. Okay. This is Cerakoted, I think, in a I don't know exactly what gray color it is, but it's gray, so it's super cool. This is a single action only pistol. So as you can see, if the hammer is down, unlike the regular Beretta, it will not fire. So it's single action only with a frame mounted safety, ambidextrous frame mounted thumb safety. It is red dot optic compatible. It has front and rear cocking serrations. All the controls laid out on here are black. The takedown lever, look at the takedown lever for a second. Does it look any different? Well, would you look at that? It's kind of like a mini gas pedal. That's pretty awesome. So normal Beretta 90 series pistols will have a takedown lever. It'll be pretty much flush with the slide and it'll be flat across that way. They angled this one down and gave it a bit of a shelf so you could kind of use it as a mini gas pedal to help control recoil. That's pretty cool. We're going to test that out today. I'm digging the color scheme on this. The black, gray, and red is fantastic. So as you can see, it's kind of a flat, I should say, flat face trigger that is serrated right there, or it's got, I should say, it's got vertical serrations, no horizontal serrations. They flattened the front of the trigger guard, so no more curve with the horizontal serrations in it like an M9. It does have a rail, of course, with 3 slots, as you can see. The front strap of the frame is checkered. The rear strap is checkered. It's fantastic. It does have an extended mag release there. Very cool. Red and black lock grips. to set off the whole color scheme there. I think they're G10. They're very nice. Skeletonized hammer. Tony Systems Magwell. So Tony Systems apparently sprinkled their little parts. I think I was doing some research on Tony Systems. I think it's T-O-N-I. I think they're an Italian company that spices up Berettas and other firearms for competition purposes. So it's got a Tony Systems Magwell, Tony Systems one port comp is what they call it on the web, and Tony Systems +4 base pads. So these are 18, as you can see right here, these are 18 round mags. Let's see if we can get in there. Yep, right there. 18 round mags with a +4 base pad in them. And by the way, it comes with 3 of them. So you're competition ready. Now, most competitors, I know this would be geared more towards like a USPSA competition in open class. And if you're going to shoot, I believe it would be an open class. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been years since I shot it, and they've changed the rules a little bit. And I'm not sure with the setup in it. But if you put an optic and a comp on it, I'm pretty sure it's in open class. Anyway, most open class shooters I know would buy 2 more mags. So they'd have about a minimum of 5. But you could probably get away with 3. I mean, you'd have, what's this, 66 rounds? If you talk about 67 rounds, I don't remember ever shooting a 67 round stage, but sometimes if your mags go down and stuff, you toss them aside. But you get 3 of those, all 3 with the +4 Tony Systems mag base plates or base pads, +4 mag extensions. There is a small problem I found with this pistol. Oh, if I didn't mention RDO, which is red dot optic, it is cut for that. I do have the plate for cut for a Trijicon RMR, so we're going to get that on there. We're going to throw an optic, an RMR pattern optic on there. We'll shoot it. We'll take it out in the shooting portion. We'll take it out, and I will shoot a couple of rounds out of this gun with irons because I want to see how it shoots with irons. There's a few reviews of this pistol out on the internet I've seen, and most of them shoot with optics, which is, that's typical. But I want to shoot it at least a couple of mags through it before we put an optic on it. Just see how the iron sights, if they're on, and all that other kind of stuff. So one of the only well, there's kind of 2 minor problems with this gun. I wouldn't say a problem, but one is a problem. The other one's just kind of, I don't know, not as great as I think it could be. So first one is, let's see if we can zoom in here. Let's see if it's coming through on camera. Not sure. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. So yeah, the camera's not really cutting through. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Do you see how it's kind of, see the D right there? Let me see the D right there and the E and stuff like that. It almost seems like you could see it. It's easier to see in real life. You could kind of see it right there. I don't know that the digital zoom on this camera is good enough to pick it up, but there's kind of ghost lines from about Gallatin and Para, the A in Para. So the A in Para, the G in Gallatin on down. It seems like when they were laser cutting it, it got bumped or something like that. There's ghost letters right underneath on patented and Gallatin. So it's kind of like double stamped or it moved. You know what I mean? When because I'm pretty sure this is probably a laser engraving. It's not anywhere else on there. The Beretta USA Corp and all that is pretty good, but Gallatin and even the Tennessee is good. It's almost like the laser was bumped when it did it just a little bit. So that's one small issue. It's not that big of a deal, but this gun is pretty expensive. It hovers, right around 1,500 chicken nuggets, and I got it for about 12. So when they were having a clearance at PSA and stuff, I think I got it for around 1,200 chicken nuggets, somewhere around there. So it was, it was discounted a little bit. I don't think that had anything to do with the writing. It's just they're limited edition and they're kind of clearing them out. And the other thing is the trigger, which we are going to you know, get a trigger pull weight and stuff on it. But it's got a little bit, I don't know if you can see it there. There you go. It's kind of got a little bit of a hitch and then it breaks. It's not equivalent. So anybody looking at one of these, like it has a sister to this called the Corsa, which is like a gray, black, and yellow kind of gold setup. Nice looking pistol too. And I don't know if that's just specific to this pistol, but I don't believe they have 1911 crisp triggers. So if that's what you're looking for, 2011 crisp triggers, I don't believe these have those. So, but I think when we get out there and we start shooting live fire, it's not going to. So there's a little bit of creep there, kind of a hitch. See that? So there's the wall, and then a little bit of a hitch, and then it breaks. It's not bad, and it'll probably work itself out, but I just wanted to point that out there. So what are we working with here? 32.28 ounces, and with the factory supplied magazine, 35. Now, you can also, a lot of people are throwing lights on here. I have this Olight PL Turbo Valkyrie. We'll throw that on there. Now we're 40.54. Let's throw the mount on there. 42.46 plus the dot. So you're probably upwards around 45 ounces if you deck it out like this. And I will deck it out. Again, we will shoot it slick like this with no optic, no light, none of that other stuff on it. And then we will put all that stuff on and we will also shoot it that way. Now, let's get a trigger pull weight on this trigger and just see how good it is. 5.38. Let me try down here at the bottom. Let me see if we can get this back in camera a little bit. 3.30. That's probably, I mean, it's a pretty nice trigger. It's not 2.88. I was going to say it would probably hover around 3.74. I would say it's probably hovering around 3.5. I mean, there's your take up. So it's at rest. There's the wall. And then it breaks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad trigger. I'm just saying if you're expecting, and see that little hitch that unless you really slowly pull through it, you can't feel that hitch. So we fired the pistol. It's cycled, and now we're going to see where okay, there's the reset. Almost no take up back to the reset. So let's try that again. So your first initial shot, there's your take up. You're hitting the wall. It fires. It's got a little bit of a creep. Firearm cycles. Here's your reset right there. And just, there's hardly any take up on the reset. So you should be able, if you're riding the reset, you should be able to fire this pistol pretty fast if that's your thing. So you know what? Let's get it out to the range and just see how it shoots. Live fire portion of this review. We have our 92XI or 9211 Gara, which is Italian for
a whale's vagina.
Kidding, of course. But we have it in its out-of-the-box, stripped-down configuration, so no optic yet, no light. We will add those in the video to see how it shoots with those. But now I just want to see how it fires out of the box for the first shots. Again, brand new gun, unfired. As you get, just stripped down iron sights. Got 22 rounds of 115 grain Winchester white box, graciously provided by Mark at Browne Works Inc. Link in the description below. We are just going to fire it up for its very first round. Let's just see how it shoots, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to do another comparison video between like this and one of my other full-size Berettas, but I'm thinking this comp works. This thing shoots smooth as hell. Trigger, as you saw in the tabletop, has a little bit of a hitch, but when you're firing live ammo, you can't feel it. This thing is sweet. You can really shoot this sucker fast. Okay, folks, so we have mounted the O-Sight, the new O-Sight C on here, which is RMR footprint. This is the battery-powered one that a lot of people have been asking O-Sight to release. It's pretty cool. And we have an O-Light PL Turbo Valkyrie. So we're all O-lighted and O-sighted out for this. And let's just see how it shoots with the dot, man. Yeah, this thing shoots awesome. Dot does sit a little high. It's kind of the nature of the 90 series, the 92 series guns, the way they are. They weren't, I mean, these were, developed in the late 1970s, early 1980s. The 92, or the M9 was adopted by the military in 85. So you're going back 40 years now, 30 years, 40 years. Oh, yeah. Accuracy portion of this review. We have our 3-inch shoot and see mounted on a full-size IPSC target. We have our Beretta 9211 Gara. We got 5 rounds, this time of 124 grain ZQI. You guys remember that stuff when they used to sell at Walmart? I'm gonna go back 7 yards and we're just gonna see how it shoots. Now, I haven't fine-tuned this red dot. It's grossly on. So I got to do some more, I got to sight it in better. So we're going for a group, not exactly for the center of the target. We'll just see where it hits. So let me go do that. Okay, so it looks like at 7 yards, it's right on. I feel like I need to practice a little bit more with this trigger. That first shot, it was dead on. And then all the rest of this a little bit lower, I feel was me, but that's still not a bad group at 7. But if it's hitting this at 7, that means it's hitting, what, a little bit high at 15? Is that a 15, 20? Yeah, so that's probably about right. So let's go and get the final thoughts. Final thoughts on the Beretta 9211 Gara. think it's pretty awesome, man. Now, I need to practice more with the dot. I'm used to shooting irons, but this thing shoots fantastic. It was totally reliable, but we only put about 125 rounds through it today. I don't have any real negatives. I will say, sweeping off this safety, being that this is a competition-oriented gun, I would have liked just a little bit more purchase, just a little bit more of a shelf on this safety and some texture on it. It's kind of slick because what are you gonna, this is geared towards competition anyway. You don't need to have them close to the gun and see, I mean, look what they did with the slide stop. They could have done the same thing here. I mean, I could probably do that myself, but I'm not going to. Just a little bit more grip. It's a little slick. So sometimes it's hard to get a purchase on it. And I like to ride it like shooting the 1911. I really dig this little gas pedal. That's a great idea. So to get locked in with that gun. But I just wish there was some texture on here and maybe a little bit more purchase on there. Other than that, I think the comp works great. I am going to do a video, a follow-up video where I compare just a standard, like maybe an M9A3 or something like that, to this to really see how the good the comp works. Trigger is, I told you there was that little glitch in the tabletop. You don't feel it while you're shooting. So trigger's not like great, like a finely tuned, 2011 or something like that, but it's very good. One problem I did have, magazines are awesome, by the way. One problem I did have is, look at this. So look at that. Magwell's coming off. Now, is that big of a deal? No, because it's held on with an Allen wrench right there, but I didn't bring out an Allen wrench right now. Go back in the house and I'll fix it. But what if you're at a competition and you didn't bring your Allen wrenches and this is the only way that you attach it? Is really kind of, I mean, they could have had some type of locking system or something on there. So after 120 rounds, this came, I mean, it's flopping around. It came really loose. But again, I will go in, I'll take it out, put some blue Loctite on it, crank it down, it'll be fine, I'm sure. So that's not really a hit on the gun overall, but it's kind of like, man. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think about the 9211 series. Do you think this is a cool gun? I think this is a ridiculously cool gun, man. I dig it. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.